Hello and welcome to the course, Create TV Commercials and Video Ads with AI. This is intended to be a groundbreaking learning experience where you will learn how to leverage numerous AI tools to create and generate sophisticated, high-quality, professional video ads and commercials with little time and little effort. We're going to go through all the different parts to make this happen. And as we know, creating commercials and video ads are expensive, they're time consuming, they take a lot of effort. Just look at the film industry, look at Hollywood, right? Look at, for example, the Super Bowl, and look at all the effort that goes into the commercial breaks between the Super Bowl event. There's an astonishing amount of money that goes into making these advertisements happen in the way that appeals to consumers. Marketing is a booming trend and it will continue to be. How do we go and leverage artificial intelligence in our time and age to make the best use case out of appealing to the general public? We're going to be covering all this. This course is really a transformational course. It will get you to point A to point B in no time. So let's get right into it, and I want to talk about what the expectations are for this course. Now, we're going to learn how to create high quality commercials with AI powered tools. I'll introduce the various tools and we'll focus on two different methods, the fast method and the free method. We're going to start actually with the free method. So I'll show you how to go about doing commercial videos and video ads with completely free trials and free AI tools. I'll get you to the point where you will actually use an avatar version of yourself, an AI version of yourself with your same look and same voice to essentially present a commercial video. I'll show you how to take a script that's generated by AI and basically craft it into a whole commercial, right? So to be able to generate images based off of video shots per the script, and then to make those images come to life with video generation, and then take those videos and integrate them and make them part of a video ad. So we're going to unlock the power of AI to streamline your ad creation process. Now, let's start by talking about the different types of commercials that we can create. So there's products and then there's service ads. Well, what's the difference, right? So this is one of the things that you'll have to decide on. It's a deciding factor when you're developing either your product commercial or service commercial. So a product ad is essentially showcasing a physical item. So you have an actual product. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical. It could be something that's digital also. But going with the idea of a physical product ad, right? You're going to highlight the features of the product, the quality, its benefits, and so on. So that's a product ad or a product commercial. And I'm going to use ad and commercial interchangeably. Service ad. So that is promoting a service or a subscription, right? They subscribe to some kind of program or they buy your service so that you provide them some benefit, right? Or customer satisfaction. So this entails that you have some level of expertise and you build trust and rapport with your clients, and then they subscribe or they buy your service. So think of the difference here between products and service, just to name a couple of examples. A product could be, for instance, say sunglasses or a backpack, right? Or say a skateboard or your latest gadget, new phone, right? Those are all products. Or even like a course, right? These are all digital products online, right? These are all products. Whereas a service ad could be, for instance, like a fitness training program that a person would subscribe to, or it could be subscribing to like a newsletter of some sort, right? So that's the idea behind this. So the key difference here between these two has to do with visuals. Are you focusing more on service, or are you focusing more on product? So we're going to, in this course, look at how to develop AI videos, AI commercials for both. So we'll get to holistically, look at a wholesome, comprehensive approach to creating commercial ads with AI. Now, There are two methods, as I mentioned. There's the free method and the fast method. So the free method obviously entails there's no paid subscriptions. I'll show you how to use and access those trial versions, whether they are 30-day versions or say for instance, they give you a number of credits for free and so on. Now, the pro, again, obviously to the free method is no subscriptions, nothing paid, it's completely free. The con is it requires a little bit more time and effort, but still much less than it would be in creating your own commercial or video ad the old school way, right? So obviously the benefit is um, significant regardless. Whereas the fast method, there are paid subscriptions obviously involved. So that is, you can consider that a con. And then the pro here though is that it's quicker production, it's more efficient. You also get premium assets, premium features. But I will argue that with both methods, you will still get fairly high quality professional commercial video ads. So even with the free method, you're going to see that you can generate some very state-of-the-art sophisticated commercials. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the free method. So step by step, this is how it works. We're going to start with selecting an ad type and niche down. So we'll look at both product and service ads with the free method. And this is sort of the process here step by step. We're going to generate a script. So we'll create the script leveraging ChatGPT, and we'll make it as engaging as possible. We want the script to be informative and engage with our client base. Based on those scripts, we'll generate video shots and video shot descriptions. We'll take those descriptions and apply them to Leonardo AI. You can use Midnight, you can use Pika Labs and other softwares, but I'm going to introduce Leonardo AI in this course. And because this is a beginner-friendly course, I'm focusing on one tool for each job as much as possible. And we then have our video generation portion after we've created our images, we've say edited them, enhanced them. We can at that point generate our videos, make those images come to life using Kling AI. So I'll introduce that tool. And then there is an optional portion where you can create, as I've mentioned, I alluded to this, your own avatar, right? So your own AI version of yourself. And we're going to use a program called HeyGen to do that. And this is especially useful for explainer videos where you have, you're marketing a product or service and you want to explain it yourself, but you don't necessarily want to be, on the spotlight. It's sort of like an AI model, AI version of you. So it's an equivalent of you. Sounds like you, looks like you. So we will look at that as well. I'll show you how to go about creating that. And then we have the fast method. So we'll use a program called InVideo AI for that. It converts text into videos quickly. So just type in some text, you basically create a prompt, enter the prompt in, and it generates a video. It's super fast, but again, the downside is that you're paying for this subscription, right? So you do have to pay a monthly fee, or you can subscribe to the annually fee. So that's up to you. Now, I will mention that even with the fast method, there is a free version to it, which is what I will be presenting, in fact. And I'll show you how to use it in a free way, but you're more than welcome to subscribe if you want. I don't advocate for it. If you're following my courses and you're a regular student, you know that I always advocate for free tools in all my courses, and I believe in that. I'm a very strong believer in that. Okay, so here we are. We're going to use InVideo AI. We'll convert text into videos quickly, swiftly. Okay, I will show you how to do so with the free version, but there are going to be limitations. Disclaimer right now, you will see stock images, you will see watermarks on the InVideo AI on the fast method, but if you wanted to get rid of those, easily just subscribe and you'll have full access to the fast method where you can generate a commercial video ad in seconds. Okay, so it's up to you. I personally recommend using the free method, not necessarily because it's free, but I think overall you learn more about AI, you apply more, you implement more, and it's still fairly quick. And also the quality of the final product is great. It's just as good, I would argue, as the fast method. So we will look at both nevertheless. So talking a little bit more about in-video AI here. So the role of AI in video ad creation is as follows. It'll automate the script writing, it'll do the video editing, it'll do the voiceovers. So the benefit there with in video AI is it does all of those things, right? Either way, whether you're dealing with the free method or the fast method, the course in general doesn't require you to have any prior experience. So with these AI tools that I'm going to present for both methods, you can create professional courses that you can create professional commercials that you'll be able to market with your client base easily. So choosing the right method for you, this is really a subjective situation, right? So there's really no right answer here. Some students like the free method, some like the fast method. It all depends what your goal is. Are you a content creator aiming to create, say, 20 commercials a day? Are you trying to create bulk? You probably want to opt for the fast method. Are you looking to create a couple of commercials here and there, focus on more high quality, have a little bit more leverage, more say, more intervention, right? So more involvement in the design, then you probably want the free method. So I think that's also a pro of the free method there is that you get more power as to what you want. The fast method, we'll just give it to you, right? Whereas the free method, along the way, you have more specificity. You can specify more things as you go along, more specifics, things you want, things you don't want. So those are things that you can essentially highlight and choose better as you go along the way with the free method. So it really depends. But again, if you want something quick, fast method would be the way. So it really just depends. I would recommend going with both, learning both, and leveraging both as needed. That's what I do, and I think that gives the best results. So both of them are relevant for creating commercials, TV commercials on social media or what have you. So some of you might be entrepreneurs, some of you might be educators. So really just depends on what you're trying to do and what kind of videos you're trying to create for what audience. And with that said, let's get started. Again, my recommendation is to learn both. The course teaches you everything from A to Z. So it'll teach you the free method. Will go through all the intricacies, all the details, step by step, all the tools. We're going to generate actual commercials. These are real video ads and commercials that can be posted anywhere. They can be broadcasted on TV. They can be essentially posted on different social media networks, including YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and more. Okay, so I strongly recommend that you learn both as you go along the course here. And further, I also recommend as you go through the course, engage in the hands-on practice using the AI tools that I present. So try to, as you're going along with the course, pause here and there, take a couple of moments to get familiar with the tools being presented and the features and the details that I'm teaching so that you're able to apply it accordingly. And then finally, share your progress and feel free to ask questions as you go along. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to get started with creating our first commercial by leveraging the power of AI. Now, as we've been talking and discussing in earlier video lessons, when it comes to creating a commercial or video ad in general, you need to identify what product you want or what service you want. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is identify, do you want to create a commercial or video ad for a product or a service, right? So products could be things that you'll find that are materialistic, obviously, right? So things that you'll find in a store, online, what have you. Whereas a service is something typically that you would subscribe to, right? So consumers will probably find your promo link and they'll be able to sort of dig into what services you provide, and then they can either purchase that service or they can subscribe to it. So that's going to be the first step, is identify what you want to do. And the possibilities are endless, right? So you have an infinite amount of possibilities here that you can select from, which is great. And I'm going to be presenting a couple of examples. I'm going to focus on a product-based commercial ad. I'm going to focus also on a service-based ad. So we'll do one of each. We'll use the free way first. I'm going to show you all the free tools and methods. And then afterwards, I'll show you the fast way, which typically requires a subscription if you want to get rid of the watermarks and all that. So let's go ahead and get started with the free method. Okay, so again, you're going to want to select what product, what service you want. I'm going to pick one or two, and you can do it on whatever you want. It could be about a food beverage, right? It could be about your restaurant. It could be about, the hottest new gadget. It could be about clothing. It could really be about anything, jewelry, you name it, right? It all depends on your business, what your needs are, and what commercial you're trying to develop, what product you're trying to market, or what service you're trying to put out there in the marketplace. So what we need to do first is create a script. Okay, so this script will be for your commercial. Okay, so we need to start with a commercial idea. Now, I thought about different commercial ideas, and I think the one that I'm going to start with is a product-based commercial ad. And since iPhones remain trendy, the iPhone 16 came out somewhat recently, along with its Pro and Pro Max. I think I'm going to aim for like an iPhone 17 video promo or video ad, kind of diving into the future. Now, the iPhone 17 is set to launch in September of 2025, which is later this year. And essentially, I'm thinking, why not create a futuristic commercial, sort of depicting what the iPhone 17 will be. We're going to do our best and try to do something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that idea. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I want to enter in this prompt here. I'm going to share this prompt as a resource so you can utilize it. But basically, you're going to say something to the likes of as follows. Write me a script for and then you're going to mention your idea here, commercial. Script should be for a time duration of, and then you basically provide the length in seconds or minutes. So the idea that I want is an iPhone 17 commercial highlighting the intended features of the product during its launch. So I added some more details here, okay? But I want a script for a iPhone 17 commercial, okay? The script should be for a time duration of, and then I can enter the amount of seconds or minutes. I'm gonna aim for just a minute for now, so we're gonna say 60 seconds, okay? And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and enter this in, and lo and behold, it'll go ahead and give you something. So it even gives details of the opening scene and what to do. So as you can see, the narrator starts with something like, the future isn't coming, it's here. Introducing the all-new iPhone 17, crafted for those who demand more. And then it says, a re-engineered 200 MP Pro Vision camera with AI-enhanced night mode, because every shot should be picture perfect. And then it talks about all the different features. So this is really nice. As you can see, it's simplistic, and it does mention some of the actual features that the iPhone 17 will entail and will be comprised of. So this is nice. This is great. So we're going to go ahead and work with this. Again, the first thing you're going to want to do is develop your commercial script. And as you can see, we have just developed one in a matter of seconds. So we're going to piggyback off of that, and in the next video lesson, I'll show you how to make use of this. We will need to also enter in another prompt before proceeding. However, this is one of the steps. One of the first steps is to develop your script for your commercial or your video ad. So let's go ahead and make use of this and move on to the next video lesson. In this video lesson, we're going to take it to the next step, and I have a new prompt for you to try. Now, in the first one, we just developed a script with the aid of AI, ChatGPT specifically. And now what we're going to do is we're going to enter in a new prompt, and this prompt is intended to generate the text that we need for our shot images, for our scene images to be specific. Okay, so I'm going to share the
prompt with you right now. I'll also provide it as a resource. And basically here it is. You're going to say, I want to create and mention the idea here. I'm going to put the same thing again, iPhone 17 commercial. And I'm going to say no script. I don't want a script necessarily this time. I just want the video shots. Okay. So describe each shot in detail along with camera model, shot type, lens type. Why are we saying this? Well, these are all key words that you'll find in the film industry. Okay. And if you want high quality professional commercial videos, then you need to enter in information to your AI model equivalent to what would be done in the film industry. And this is exactly what would be done, is they would create shots based on your camera model, your shot type, your lens type, and so on. So I have the prompt ready and available for you to use, and essentially this is what you would just do. So describe each shot in detail along with camera model, shot type, lens type. Then for each shot, provide a descriptive prompt. So we do want a prompt for each shot so that we can take it and enter it into our image generation platform. In this case, we're going to be using Leonardo AI, which I will introduce in the next video lesson. But I do want to make sure that it provides a prompt that's descriptive enough to include all of these details so that you don't have to manually enter your prompt in, right? So anyway, let me read the rest of it. So this will be used, or which will be used for AI image generation that includes these details. So I want to include all of these details, encapsulate it, and make it as part of my descriptive prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and enter this in. I can specify how many video shots I want. So I'm going to say just video shots enough to cover the script. Okay. Or we're going to say the commercial script. Okay. And that's it. So let me go ahead and enter that in, and it should give us everything that we want. Okay, awesome. So here is the AI prompt. As you can see, what it's done is it gives you all the details, the camera, the shot type, the lens, and the description, and then the AI prompt. This is perfect. So all you got to do is literally just take that AI prompt, copy it, and paste it into your image generation platform. So if you just look at this very first one here, it says a cinematic close-up shot of a futuristic smartphone being revealed in a dark setting with a single beam of light. The phone has an ultra-thin titanium frame and a glowing Apple logo, captured with a Canon RF 85mm 1.2L lens on a Red V Raptor 8K VV featuring, and so on, all the way to the end. But basically, same situation. So you have the first one here, the opening shot, which is the dramatic reveal. The second is the camera excellence, so highlighting the night mode feature, and having a cinematic wide shot of a person holding a cutting-edge smartphone under a clear night sky, capturing a Milky Way astrophotography image. Then you have an immersive display shot, high refresh rate. So as you can see, the camera, shot types, and lens vary slightly, and in some cases significantly, but they're all done in the name of trying to get the best AI generated image. So the AI prompt is trying to meet that need. Then the next one here is advanced security, under display, Face ID, and then you have limitless connectivity, satellite call, and remote area. Then you have 6, gaming power, console level graphics. 7, battery and charging, super fast power up, and 8, the final hero shot, the iPhone 7 reveal. So it looks like we're aiming for 8 shots here. And the way you're going to go about getting those shots is through an image generation program. Now, you could use programs like Midjourney, for instance. There's Pika Labs. There's a couple of them out there. But for the purpose of this course, I'm going to be using Leonardo AI. Okay. And Leonardo AI is nice because for a free method, it works great. It gives you about 150 credits per day. And that's on a single account. So if you happen to have more than one account, you can have more than 150 credits, if you know what I mean. But essentially, 150 credits will actually give you a lot. It should be able to cover all 8 shots with ease. Okay. And I happen to have subscribed for the Plus plan on Leonardo AI in the past, so I believe I have much more than that. But in any case, I guarantee that you'll be able to get your shots for your first commercial video with just 150 credits. And so we're going to go ahead and proceed with that. So these are the shots, and we have the AI prompts. We're going to start using that. We'll open up Leonardo AI in the next video lesson and start entering those in and getting our images prepared. Now that we have our video shots, as I've highlighted in the last video lesson, we can take the AI prompts that were generated and essentially use them in Leonardo AI. So before I do that, let me introduce the Leonardo AI platform if you're not familiar with it. So you're basically going to go to Leonardo.ai. I'll of course provide the link, and you're going to either sign up or log in with one of these accounts, your Apple, your Google, your Microsoft, or just your email. So I like to use Google, so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to log in. And then once I do so, you'll basically be entered into the platform. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that I'm in here, as you can see, I have 8,500 credits. I have the apprentice plan, which is about $12 a month, but that's completely optional. If you didn't have a subscription, then basically it would be free, and then you would start off with 150 credits, and it basically allows you to do almost everything that I'm capable of doing here, which is great. All right, so here's what we do. We go to the left-hand side here, and you're going to click on image creation. Okay, so we're going to click on image creation, and then once you're here in the image creation window under the app, the first thing you're going to want to do is configure all your settings. So the model that we want to look for more of a hyper-realistic feel and look to it. So I'm going to click on the lifelike vision. As you can see here, you can create hyper-realistic images with incredible detail. The cinematic keynote is okay too, but I want something more realistic. So I'm going to click on this lifelike vision. Now, the style can be dynamic. I think if you want better quality, go for cinematic or cinematic close-up even. Okay, let's start with cinematic, and then I may change that to a cinematic close-up. The contrast being medium is fine. For generation mode, you can do either fast or quality. Either way, you'll still get good quality images. The dimensions really depends on what you're trying to produce, right? So all depends. But for what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to just use medium. Okay, so even if you did small, you'll still get great image quality, but I'm going to just go with medium. I can select how many images I want generated. So I'm just going to, you could do 4, for my purpose here, I'm going to do 8. And then under advanced settings, the model is Leonardo Vision XL, which is fine. And there's a really good feature here called Photoreal. I mean, it's optional, but I think I'm going to click on it. It's a high quality finishing pipeline that results in more photorealistic outputs. So these are just like optional things, but I do want it. So that's pretty much it. Those are my settings. I'm ready. Okay, so I'm ready for my first video shot, and I'm excited how this is going to come out. So what I do is I go and I grab my first AI prompt where it's the opening shot. Now it does say extreme close-up and then slowly push in, so I'm getting second thoughts on that. You know what, let's make this a cinematic close-up since that's what we're aiming for. I'll go ahead and paste the prompt, and that's pretty much it really. I'm going to click on generate. It's going to take 64 credit coins here, and that's fine for what I'm trying to do. I'm looking for high quality images, so I'm going to click on generate and see what that gives us. It'll take a quick minute to generate that for us. Hopefully it comes out with something good. AI has nuances. It's not perfect, but we're going to work with what we have so that we can build and create our commercial video. All right, and here we go. Wow, look at these images. These are some nice images. Would you look at that? It even has the Apple logo. Amazing. All right, so again, remember, we are looking to emulate the iPhone 17. Now, we don't know much about the iPhone 17 at this point in time when I'm recording and publishing this course. But if you're essentially going through the course past September of 2025, then most likely you already know how the iPhone 17 looks like. So we have limited information on how the iPhone 17 looks like, but we're developing a attractive, appealing, consumer-based iPhone 17 commercial ad right now with limited knowledge, and that's fine. So one thing I want to note here is when you're using Leonardo AI, once in a while you'll get this message here that says this image might be explicit. That's completely fine. Go ahead and click on view. In this case, it's probably just because it didn't come out good. So that's useless, basically. I mean, I wouldn't say it's useless because using another tool, you can actually remove these texts here and you can put the Apple logo. So it's not completely useless, right? But so far, this is looking amazing. So just let's go through the ones that it's generated so far. We got 8 of them. And this is only the first video shot. So let's take a look. So here's the first one. This looks good. You have the Apple logo. You have a couple of things there. These things can be modified. We can clean up the image. I can show you how to do that using a different app. You have this nice cinematic close-up. Looks beautiful. This won't work because it looks like it's 2 phones. I don't think I want that. This is nice. I like how the stand-up look of this is illuminating. So that is a very powerful look. So we may be able to use something like that. This is kind of like just an image on the phone itself, highlighting the great quality, the image resolution on the phone, so that might be something of use. Although the hand here doesn't look, it looks truncated. So we might be able to zoom in on this. Okay, and here's another one. I think this one came out really good where someone's holding it. So we got a couple of good options here. This is great. Now, if you're not satisfied with any of these, you can click generate again and generate even more. But for now, I think I'm okay. I can work with these. Minor editing, but very possible. So the next one is we have a wide shot, low angle. That's the shot type. Okay, so this is a cinematic wide shot. So because it's a wide shot, we're going for camera excellence, night mode photography here, looking into the sky. I'm going to want just cinematic. You don't want to do a close-up on that. So let's go ahead and paste. And now we have our new prompt for the second video shot, and we'll generate that and allow that to process into queue. And voila, we have our second video shot candidates. So let's take a look at them. I'm just going to say yes or no on each of them. So that's a no, that's a no, no. Interesting, but no. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I think that's a yes. That looks pretty good. We could definitely show how it's capturing what's intended to be the Milky Way, right? So that looks cool. And probably not because the hand looks a little off. So I think our best candidate right now is this for the second video shot. Hey, look, as long as you have one good candidate, work with it, okay? So that's my advice. But if you want to always try for more, you certainly can. Now, the third one here is immersive display. We're going to aim for a medium shot with tracking motion. Okay. So it sounds like we don't want a super close-up again. We'll just do cinematic this time once more. So we don't need to change much here. We'll just erase this and paste a new prompt. I don't think we need to change anything. Nope, we're fine. So yeah, let's generate that one. Let's get our third video shot. Okay, so here's our options for the third video shot. Now, one of the things that you want to do when you're focusing on a commercial video ad using AI, you want to make sure that you have product consistency. What does that mean? You want to make sure that the images of the product that you're generating is consistent throughout the scenes. Now, if there's a slight variation, I think that's okay. Can be, you can kind of work with it. But if it's too much variation, it won't work, right? So you want to make sure that it's consistent throughout. Okay, so this is where we're trying to highlight the high refresh rate. Okay, so you want to pick something that will work good, look good. So there's a couple of good options here. This one might be okay. This first one wasn't bad either. So you got a couple of, this one is okay as well. Except he has 6 fingers. So we're not going to work with that. But you need to make sure that the AI generated images are free of significant errors. So like this finger looks a little bit too long. You want to make sure you look at these details just so you can have the best cut resolution for your commercial video. Okay, all of these little details do make a difference. All right, so we got a couple of options to work with here for our third video shot. We're moving on to the next one. So this is an extremely close-up. Okay, so we're going to want the cinematic close-up again. And this is going to show the user's eyes scanning a futuristic smartphone with under-display Face ID technology. Okay, so let's do that. So delete this, paste that, and change it to a cinematic close-up and generate. Okay, so we have our video shots for this next one. Looks a little discombobulated. These images look a little funky right now. So far I don't like any of them. Let's take a look at this and this. I mean, maybe this one, but not even, right? So what about this one? No. I'm going to generate again. So, I mean, that's the beauty of AI, is the process of refinement and giving it more than one try in some cases. So let's give it another shot. Okay, so we have more options now. So I think this one is decent. No on that. Maybe, because I like how it's kind of just scanning the whole face. Nope. No on there. And I think the rest are no's. So we have like 1 or 2 that we could work with. I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, so yeah, let's move on. Let's move a little faster. So here we have a wide aerial shot, top-down angle. Okay, so we're going to mention that here. Just cinematic on that. So it's either going to be cinematic or cinematic close-up, as we've been doing, really. So let's see how that one comes out. I'll move a little faster now. Okay, these images are now ready. So I think most of them don't show a phone, but this one does, and I think this one is pretty good. So I'll probably end up using that, but the other ones do not. However, well, that one kind of shows a person holding up a phone from afar. But yeah, no, I think our best option here is this one. So we would probably end up downloading that and using it. But look at this prompt. It says an aerial wide shot of a lone hiker standing atop a rugged mountain peak, holding a futuristic smartphone while making a satellite call. Okay. So, I mean, it's a good prompt, and I think it goes to say a good prompt will lead to good images. So that is a key point to keep in the back of your mind there while you're working with generative AI. All right, so next we have the gaming power console level graphics. It's an over-the-shoulder shot, slightly tilt. Okay. So for this one, since it's over the shoulder, I think I'm going to aim for more of a close-up on that. I want to really get into this detail here and highlight the console quality graphics if possible. All right, so these are ready. Let's look at them here. All right, so we're aiming for high quality game console graphics. And some of these graphics are actually looking really good. This one is really nice. So I like the car game there. Okay. All right, so I think we have 1 or 2 that we can use. I think the car one is probably our best one here. So maybe we'll make use of that one. Okay, so we're almost done. So we just got two more. Let's knock those out real quick. So this is on battery and charging, and it's a macro shot straight on angle. So that could just be a yeah, just a cinematic. So it's a macro shot of a futuristic smartphone placed on a wireless charging pad with the battery rapidly increasing from 10 to 50%. Okay, so that should be easy. No close up there. Generate. Okay, so it's ready. Remember, this one we want to show an image that demonstrates that the battery is rapidly charging. Okay, so we have a charging pad there, another one there. This one might work really well. We might have to clean up the image a little bit. Okay, but yeah, so we might be able to use one of these. Okay, and then finally, the last one is the final hero shot. So that's a hero shot, slow motion, rotating angle. And I'm going to take this. And this is basically the iPhone 17 is displayed in a stunning hero shot, rotating in midair under soft controlled lights. Okay. All right, and this one should have the Apple logo. So I'll paste that. That's just cinematic. It's not a close-up. And let's see how that one comes out. Okay, let's see if the images captured the features that we're looking to highlight. So that's too big of an Apple logo. Nope. No, no, no. No. Oh yeah, this one is really nice. So that might be our winner right there. So this is with the Apple logo in the middle of the screen, showing that it's probably either a background image or something that's, you know, playing on the phone or whatnot that includes the Apple logo. So that's really nice. This one is excellent. Looks like an iPhone 17 too, assuming that's how, you know, that Apple is going to continue on with the same release. Assuming that Apple will continue to release iPhones with similar looks. Okay, so those are the 8 video shots. We've generated a couple of options for each. Now I can continue to refine and, you know, generate more, and you're welcome to do so as well for your commercial video. But this is really the process, and that's what I'm teaching here. So you can take this as far as you want and keep regenerating until you perfect it. But I'm going to use the best selected ones that we've generated. Maybe I may generate a couple more. Depends if I feel that it's necessary. Otherwise, I'll just use what we have. I'll pick the best options. And for the next step, we'll start taking these images and we'll bring them to life using a image to video motion program or video animation program. So I'll show you how to do that in the next upcoming video lessons, where we take these actual images and bring them into life. Now, one of the things that we'll probably end up doing before we jump into that step is we may clean up some of the photos. So I'll also show you how to do that. You want to clean up the photos, make them nice, remove any, you know, texts or symbols or, you know, particles that shouldn't belong in the specific images that we select, so that when you do enter into the video motion program, you know, it'll be free of those erroneous looks, right? So you want a perfect hyper-realistic look as much as possible. So that's what we're going to aim for, and I'll show you how to do that within the next upcoming video lessons. In this video lesson, we're going to take the next steps to creating our iPhone 17 commercial. We've already developed the script, we have our images, so we have the parts that we need, the components, to basically move on. Now, before we do that, what I'm going to suggest is that you essentially grab all the images that you've generated with Leonardo AI or your image generation tool, and then just put them in a folder. So as you can see, I just have it under downloads, and I created a folder there called images for commercial. Okay, so you can call it whatever you want, but I do recommend that you create a folder and you put your photos, your images in there. And what I've done is I've also numbered them. So as you can see, I have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5A, a 6, 7, and 8. Let me explain what those mean. So I'm just basically denoting each scene. So for instance, looking at our script that we've generated with AI, you can see here that the first one says, the future isn't coming, it's here, right? So this is the one where you want a dark screen, a single beam of light revealing, the iPhone 17. So that's this one right here, the first one. The second one, so as you can see here, we're introducing the all new iPhone 17, crafted for those who demand more. And we have a photo for that. So we have this one right here. And the next one would be about the night sky. So you can see the Milky Way there. You got a good image of it, and so on and so on. So for the fifth one, I'll just talk about that real quick. So I basically listed it as 5 and 5A, and that's because there's 2 shots required here. So one is about security, the other is about connectivity. So that's how I have this unique Face ID feature highlighted, and then I have the guy standing on a mountain with great connection. So 5 and 5A would be for this statement right here, for this part. Okay, so you can call it whatever you want, but that's what I went with, 5 and 5A. And then I have my 6, 7, and 8, making a total of my 8 shots for the 8 different narrator sentences. Okay, so we're ready to move on. Now, in the next video lesson, I'm going to show you how to use Canva. And we're going to use Canva to edit our photos to make them more appealing, more accurate, and get rid of elements that we don't want. So let's look at that next. All right, so now we want to use Canva to edit our images before we bring these images to life using an image to video generation tool. So the way you go about doing this is you basically log on to canva.com, you create an account on there. Now, again, I do advocate for free tools. Canva, with all honesty, isn't necessarily free. However, they do offer a 30-day free trial, which is great. I will say this, Canva does have a free version to it, so you can just log on to Canva and use whatever is available, but you're going to be very limited on features. So what I would recommend, at least for your first couple of commercial videos that you want to create, get that 1 month for free. You'll get the pro version and you'll have access to all the neat features of Canva, including what I'm going to show you here. Now, what I'm going to show you here is optional, but it is highly recommended. And the reason being is because, with these images that we've generated with AI, they're not perfect, as you can see, right? So I want to really make this look like an iPhone 17 commercial, right? So I want to get rid of some of these jargons and elements that shouldn't really be there, right? I mean, this right here doesn't even look like an iPhone. It looks more like a Samsung, right? So we want to get rid of things that don't make sense, right? So for instance, there's someone standing back here. I can get rid of that. And I'll show you how to do this. This circle right here I don't think is necessary. This isn't necessary here. On the top here, maybe I can get rid of this stuff. So there's a couple things that I can get rid of here. I don't want this circle here because with the new iPhones, obviously we don't have those. So I'm going to get rid of that. So here's what you do. You go to canva.com and then you're going to create a design. So I'm going to click here and then I'll click on create a design. Now when you do that, you're going to want to create a custom size. Okay, so you're going to click on custom size and enter in your pixels for your width and height. How do you know what the width and height is? Just go to one of your photos. They're all the same size and it tells you the dimensions right there. So we're at 2240 and 1256. So 2240, 1256, 2240, 1256. And I will create a new design. Now, once I've done that, here's my environment where I can essentially modify these images and make some corrections to them. So I'm going to select all 8 of them, well, in this case 9 because I have a 5 and 5A. I'm going to just take this and drop it anywhere here. And then you're going to see that it's loading, right? So it's uploading all these files. I can start the work, so I'm going to start with the very first one. And this is my first shot here, so I'm going to just make sure that it flushes all the way through, and it should flush perfectly. There we go. And now, since it's uploading, I don't need to look at the images in the folder anymore. I have them all here. So what you do is you click on it, go to edit, and then when you go to edit, you have a couple of options. You're going to want to select the Magic Eraser. Okay, so this is a feature within the Magic Studio environment, and it's part of, as you can see, this little crown symbol. It designates that it's a pro feature. So you will need that 30-day free trial to use this. Okay, so feel free to use it. Click on Magic Eraser, and you can select how big you want your brush size to be. So for my purpose, I'm going to basically do something like this. What I want to do is actually remove all of this stuff. I want it to look as plain as possible. I don't want this extra stuff here. So I just want the phone shown. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of all this stuff here just to show a really nice looking iPhone 17. Okay, so just make sure that you highlight where you want, no more, no less. And it should do the job pretty well. So then click on erase. It's fairly quick. You may have to do it more than once, but I mean, just take a look at this. It looks phenomenal. So we'll run it again on the areas that we feel are necessary. We want a nice shine to it. So let's do something like that and see how that looks. So that is great. You can zoom in as well. So as you can see, we have a little bit left there. So I'm just gonna, reduce the brush size on that. Might be a little too small. Just make sure you get the right size, and then just highlight what you want to get rid of. Okay, and then just do an erase, and hopefully that should get rid of it now. Okay, so sometimes you might need to do that more than once, and that's okay. There we go. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that image right there. So as you can see, we took an AI generated image that had some jargon and, elements that we didn't want or that looked out of place. And yeah, now it just looks like a brand new iPhone 17. It looks beautiful. I'm just basically going to download this. So I'm going to click on share and then go to download and then click on, you can choose PNG or JPG, but because it's a complex image, you're going to want to select PNG. So you don't have to select anything else. Just click on download. And that's pretty much it. So that's how you do edits. We're going to do a couple more and then I'll do the rest, but I want to make sure that you get a good feel to how these edits are made. So then what you can do is just delete this, go to your next one and edit them. You don't necessarily have to do them in order. They all have to be done anyway. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go, randomly. I just want to make sure all of them are done. So I'm going to select here, make sure that fits well. And this looks good. I just want to remove that circle near the bottom there. So again, click on the photo, click edit, and then we're going to go to Magic Eraser. And I just want to remove that. So that should be fairly easy. I mean, honestly, that's not really a big job. So just erase that. It should be all black. Done. There you have it. It's still a little bit white in the background there. It's faint, but I want to get rid of it. So I want to make sure everything is black. And let's see how that looks. Perfect. Look how beautiful that looks. And now on the other end, look at the shadow. Yeah, I think we'll remove the shadows out to make sure that it complements it. So let's get rid of that as well so that it makes sense, right? Because why would you have a shadow of something that doesn't exist? So let's get rid of that. Reduce the brush size a little bit. So as you can see, this tool is powerful. I use it for a lot of different edits for many applications, and it is helpful. It tends to work really well to clean up your photos and to give you the proper look of what you want. So I think that's a lot better. That looks good to me. You can have a little bit of light there. That's fine. It's gonna fit great once we create a video out of it. So yeah, I'm downloading that and PNG, and basically just keep moving on. So that's done. we'll do like one or two more here. So let's grab the Face ID one. Okay, so I will have to do all 8 of them just to clean them up. I think one of them actually didn't require any changes, but for the most part, you want to clean them up a little bit. So I want to get rid of this stuff here on the top. Don't like it. They don't look right. Okay. I'm not sure if I want to get rid of that stuff. You know, that might be okay, just to show that there's a little something going on here. But this right here doesn't make any sense, so I'm getting rid of that. So get rid of, again, elements that you don't like, that don't make sense. Yeah, I guess I want to get rid of this circle and this stuff down here. You know, so these are unnecessary. I don't want this either. I just really want to highlight like the Face ID part of it. So we may have to run over this more than once, but let's see what it gives us. It's a great tool. Great tool. I mean, you could do so much with it. So that looks really good, right? So, yeah, maybe I will just get rid of this. You know, there's no point to having it. So let me reduce that down, clean that up. Okay. I guess we can remove this too. Anything that looks out of place, why not get rid of it? Okay, looking good so far. Just clean that up a little bit more. And I think we're almost there on this image. Yeah, so it's a process of refinement here. You know, you want to keep doing it, you want to keep going. So I think that's fine. The other thing is, well, I guess that's okay. There's like a person in front of the camera. There's a glare that's covering their face. I don't think that's going to be too bad. You know, everything looks okay otherwise, I would say overall. And then these lines are nice. They show that there's, you know, a new feature being added to the iPhone 17. Now, this is all hypothetical, right? So we don't know 100% what the iPhone 17 is going to do, but we're creating a hypothetical version of what's to come, emulating an iPhone 17 commercial. Okay, so we're downloading. And the whole purpose of this is just to show you that you can create any type of commercial. It could be on a present product, it could be on a futuristic product or service, and that's the goal here. All right, so there we go. Let's do one more, and then we'll end on this video lesson. So how about, you know, this guy right here, for instance. I got to clean that up just a little bit. Not a lot to do here. But yeah, we're just going to do the same thing again. So open the Magic Eraser. I want to just get rid of extra stuff that I don't need. Make sure you get the right brush size. So here I really just want to show like, you know, the Apple logo for the most part. I'll leave this stuff on the very, very top, but you know, I'll get rid of this and this here. I'll get rid of these. I don't think they're necessary. They don't look good. They look weird. I'll get rid of all of this here. I don't want it. And the circle, obviously. So just make this all black as much as possible. And erase. Okay, beautiful. That gave it to us on the first go. Yeah, and then just here, smaller brush will do. Just that right there, and this right here. I don't need that. And let's erase. Okay, one more. Let's get rid of that. Awesome. All right, that is great. Perfect. All right, so I like this. I think this is going to come out great when we convert it to a video. So download that. And there you have it. So I'm going to do the rest, but I think you get the hang of it by now. Of course, you're going to want to take those images that were corrected and, you know, load them again, or replace them rather in the folder that you've, you know, placed your original photos that were unchanged. So make sure that you replace the new ones. Make sure that you replace the old ones with the new ones. And there you have it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these images. I'm just going to complete the rest of them. And we're going to go to our video generation program and start bringing these to life. So I'm excited to do that. Let's move on to the next lesson. All right. So now that you've corrected all your images, what you will do is take these images and use a video generation program to bring your image scenes to life. Now, take a look at the final edits for my images here for the iPhone 17 commercial. As you can see, they look so much cleaner now. We removed a lot of the unwanted elements and features that were unnecessary, that just didn't fit in right. So as you can see, the final look is excellent. Very hyper realistic images here, and they look a lot more accurate. So these are the 9 total images that we're going to be using for our video generation. Now, at this point in time, you want to select a video generation program. There's a couple of them out there that work well for what we're doing, specifically the niche when it comes to commercial-based generation, video generation that is, when it comes to hyper-realistic content. So I would recommend either going with Runway ML or Kling AI. One of those two should fit great, and they're also free to an extent, so they will give you a number of credits to try out for free. And then if you want to subscribe for more credits or buy more credits, or join one of their upgraded plans, you can certainly do that. But it definitely, you will definitely be, but you are definitely guaranteed to create your very first commercial video with the trial that either of them provide. So that is something that I will guarantee. Now let's open up Kling AI. I'm going to go with this tool. I've used Runway ML before, but Kling AI I think is just a tad bit more meaningful for what we're trying to do. It's a little bit easier for hyper-realistic images. So you're going to want to create an account, or if you already have one, just sign in. Either way, just click sign in, and then sign in with your Google, your Apple, your email. So I'm going to sign in with my Google. All right, so now that I'm signed in, essentially, as you can see, I have a bit more than what you may have in terms of credits, and that's because I've purchased credits for other projects in the past. In your case, you may just have like 100 and some change credits, which again should be enough for what we're trying to do. Now, once you're here, what you want to click on is AI videos. That's going to take you to the image to video generation tool. And then there's 3 options. There's frames, elements, and effects. You're going to want to click on frames, okay, because these are, or rather, this is the space where we're going to drop the frames that we're looking to generate videos from, or generate videos for. Okay, so there's a couple of options that you're going to want to select here. These are optional, but the most important, I would say, is the prompt. Now, again, it is optional, okay? I will say that. However, I would also suggest that it's better to put in a prompt because it will give you a better final result. So here's what I would recommend. Leverage ChatGPT in this case and have it give you the prompts. So let's go back to our ChatGPT window here. And on the page, what you can do is enter in this prompt, which I will provide. And you will say something like this. It depends how many video shots you have, obviously, but in our case, we have 8. So I'll say, based on the 8 video shots, give me an AI prompt for image to video generation that would best match each of the 8 narrator lines for my commercial. And then we're going to enter that in, and lo and behold, it should give it to us in seconds. And we'll be able to just take the prompt and enter it right in. So here, the very first one, a futuristic smartphone emerges from complete darkness, illuminated by a single beam of soft white light, and so on and so on and so on, revealing a sleek edge-to-edge display. Beautiful. Okay, the Apple logo, etc., etc., etc. So the first one I don't think has an Apple logo, so we can remove that part, and that's okay. So just make sure that when you're entering the prompt that you don't just copy and paste. You can certainly do it if it makes sense, but if there's something that doesn't make sense, you can remove it. So I'm going to just remove this part right here. Okay, but I do like the rest of it. Okay, so I'm going to click, or rather drop the first image. So let me put that here, and I'm just going to take this and drop it. Okay, and it's going to load my first image. It has the prompt in here. There's the image. And nothing on the motion brush. This is Kling 1.6, by the way. Now, it all depends on what you want in terms of settings. So you can aim for more creativity, more relevance. Creativity is a little bit, rather, relevance is a little bit more higher risk because it can give you visual errors. Creativity, you could definitely reduce that and try it out. I would aim for something right in the middle. That's the standard anyway. Speaking of standards, so there's two different modes. You have a standard mode or a professional mode. So that's faster, lower expense, so it's cheaper as you can see, but professional is richer, superior quality. So I want the professional mode. I'm looking for a top-notch, high-quality video commercial. So now the duration can be either 5 seconds or 10 seconds. For most of these are going to be 5 seconds. I may have something that's 10 seconds, and then later on we can slow it down if we want to. You can also increase the generating count, but obviously there's going to be more credit to that. So I would just suggest going with 1 to try it out. So for this very first one here, if you look at the line on the script, I mean, it's fairly short. If we just go back and see here, it just says the future isn't coming, it's here. So I mean, that will take 5 seconds or less. So I'm going to go ahead and generate this, and let's just hope for the best. So it will add it to the queue. It's fairly fast. It's less than a minute usually, and then you'll get your result. So let's take a look at what this one gives us. All right, so this one is done. Let's take a look at it. Wow, that is beautiful. Very elegant. So I like it a lot. That's our first clip there, and then we're basically just going to move on. So I'll just click on the delete button here and grab my next one. By the way, if you don't like this one for some reason, you can certainly retry. It all depends on what you want to do. Okay, so I think this is fine for now. So that's our first clip. Let's move on to the second one. I'm going to take this and drop it. And, again, we're going to aim for 5 seconds there. Introducing the all-new iPhone 11, crafted for those who demand more. So, yeah, I think for all of these, honestly, 5 seconds will do. And then, again, you can either increase the time or not. Maybe for this one right here, I mean, this one, yeah, we might have to do 10 seconds on that one. But for the rest of them, I think they're 5. Okay, so let's grab our second AI prompt. So for the next image, it's basically going to be introducing the all-new iPhone 17, crafted for those who demand more. So that 5-second duration should suffice. You want to go and look at the prompt for it. So, we still want to probably go with this right here. You want to still feed off of the first prompt because it is related to the image that we're generating. The very next one here is actually for our number 3, not number 2. But in any case, that's fine. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the prompt for what we had for the first one, but I'm just going to add this part. The Apple logo subtly glows as the camera smoothly pushes in, capturing the phone's elegance with cinematic lighting and soft reflections. So I want that part added. Okay, but I can keep everything else. And yeah, honestly, everything else should be okay there. 5 seconds, and let's generate it. All right, and it is done generating. Wow, would you look at that? How excellent. So this is beautiful. I mean, this almost looks like what an iPhone 17 will come out to be. I mean, so as you can see, the logo subtly glows. It still shows the cinematic lighting, making it look elegant. So, I mean, the prompt really worked here, right? This is the front of the phone, and it stays within character. And all it's really showing here is, you had the Apple logo on the screen, but when you tilt the phone to the side, the coloring kind of dissipates, but then the logo, you can still kind of see it just because that's how good the screen quality is, right? So I think that's beautiful. It shows like a new feature, and also shows how shiny, the screen is. I mean, that is a beautiful phone screen. So excellent. All right, so this is looking really good. We move on to the next one. So I'm going to delete this. I've already generated 2 videos. And we're going to move on to our next one, which is the one where we are capturing the Milky Way photo. And so here, let's look at the prompt. So we want this one. Okay, a user holds a high-tech smartphone against a breathtaking night sky filled with stars in the Milky Way. Phone's camera interface is visible, processing an ultra-clear astrophotography image in real time. The device's AI-enhanced night mode brightens details, reducing noise while keeping deep black and rich colors. Okay, great. I think all of this looks good. We'll copy that. Go here, go to your prompt, delete, paste, keep everything else. Let's see, do we want that at 5 seconds or 10? Let's take a look. So this basically is going to say a re-engineer 200MP Pro Vision camera with AI enhanced night mode, because every shot should be picture perfect. I'm probably going to go with 10 seconds on that one, only because there's more text there. It's longer. So, you will be generating more credits there, but it's up to you as to whether you want to go for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It depends on how many credits you have. So here I'm good to go. I'm going for a 10-second. It's going to take just a tad bit longer to generate, but ultimately it's super fast. So yeah, I'll let that render, and then we move on to the next one. So what we can do is I can delete this and I can just continue and move on. We don't have to wait. So let's move a little faster now. So I'm going to drop this next one here. And this is the one where we want to show the groundbreaking refresh rate. So we want to show how the phone operates. All right. Yeah, so that could be 5 seconds, I would say. I do want to go with the prompt, the AI prompt. So that's going to be this one right here, showing the 240 hertz refresh rate. Futuristic smartphones, screen showcases an incredibly smooth scrolling effect. Okay, that's exactly what I want to show. And yeah, looks good here. So I go here. Let's put in the new prompt as we've done. And you can just prepare it. I want to go to 5 seconds here. And yeah, I'm going to generate that as well. So you can have more than one video generating in the background because we're trying to save time. Okay, so allow that to cook. And then we have a couple more. So we take this and drop it. I'm just moving at a faster pace so you get the hang of it. I think by now it's starting to make sense. So here we have, this is really 2 parts. I want to go with, well, so this is really for the security aspect of it. So we're doing an extremely close-up shot of the face, I should say, not necessarily the eyes. And everything else looks just about good. Phone unlocks instantly with a smooth animation, reinforcing a sense of security and cutting-edge technology. I might modify this prompt slightly. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to erase this prompt, And I think what I'm going to say is something like an extreme close-up shot of a user's face. Okay. And I think we can keep the rest of it. But let's see how these came out before we move on. So I have this one. Wow. That looks so cool. Very neat, very neat. So yeah, we can certainly use something like this. I think it looks awesome. Gives it a nice effect. Um, so this one is a little funky. I think we probably need to regenerate that one. Okay, so in some cases you might want to regenerate. I mean, it's not so bad. It kind of looks like something is refreshing, but I want something that looks less artificial. So I'm going to regenerate that one. I'll go back to it later. But for now, let's go back to our other prompt for the face security image. And yeah, I already have. So let me put the prompt in again for that. And I'm just going to say a shot of the user's face, not necessarily just eyes. Okay. And I would like to generate this at 5 seconds and see what it gives us while that's generating. Okay, so I can delete this. I can remove this prompt. And I want my next image, which is this right here. And for this one, I don't think it necessarily gave us something for it, but this is just, you know, a situation where it shows that a user is up on a mountain and is able to connect to the iPhone. So I'm going to generate this without saying anything. Let's see what the AI gives us. I'm just going to take my chances on this one, try my luck at 5 seconds, generate, and hopefully it gives us something good. And let's see if we can make use of it. So let's delete, move on, we're almost done. We're going to take this one. This is for the gaming, showing the high quality, high performance. So we want to show good graphics on here through a video game, real-time ray tracing. So different features here. The user's hand grip on the device, RGB-like lighting, background features, high energy gaming setup, futuristic neon lighting, emphasizing the phone's raw processing power. Okay, I love it. So let's drop this in here and generate at 5 seconds. Okay. And while that's generating, we can go back to this one and see how it came out. I think that's pretty solid. That looks good. Yeah, that'll do it for us. I mean, it shows strong face recognition. Awesome. All right, so here we are. We're moving on. We want to grab our next photo, which is battery, showing wireless charging. Okay. So I'm not showing the wireless pad. I'm just going to literally show the wiring taking, or rather the charge taking place. So let me delete this and drop my image right in here. Clean up the prompt, put in the new prompt. Premium smartphone rests on a sleek, modern wireless charging pad. So I'm going to remove some of this stuff right here. And we'll say the edges of the phone slowly light up, indicating charging background is minimalistic, elegant. Yep, so that's fine. So the edges of the phone slowly light up, indicating the charges. I'll say the lighting, not the edges, the lighting on the phone screen. So this is the indication that the phone is charging. Let's say that this is a new feature or additional look to the iPhone 17. Okay, the background is minimalistic and elegant. And let's generate. And again, 5 seconds there. Let's take a look at how this one came out. Wow. That is amazing. Oh man. I think this is probably like our best clip right here. Wow. I love this one. Okay, so there you have it. AI is doing its work. All right, so now what we do is we go on to the next scene. So as the prior is generating, I'm moving on. I have my last one. I take this and I drop it. And I'm going for the final closing shots here. So I have 2 prompts to select from. So cinematic hero shot of a next generation smartphone floating in midair, rotating in slow motion. I like this one. Let's see this one, a close-up of a user gently holding a, no, we don't have a user here. So I'm going with this one as the final shot. Now there's 2 sort of closing ones, I would say. I'm just gonna go with this one as the closing one. I like that prompt more. Let me remove the old and drop the new one. And yeah, let's go ahead and generate it. 5 seconds on there as well. I want to go back to this one and see how that one looks like. Okay, I think it's fine. It's beautiful. It's simplistic. It's elegant. And it looks like it's charging. As you can see, this is glowing, lighting up subtly, indicating that it's charging through the charge pad. It's a different feature. Okay, awesome. And then it's generating our final video. So let's let that final one here complete its job. All right, and our final clip is done. Let's play it. Wow. It just took such a complex image and made an amazing clip out of it. This probably is in our, top 3 images that we've generated. And it's so perfect on all ends. So that's AI for you. So as you can see, we are generating and producing some excellent, high quality, top-notch videography here. I mean, things that at one point, the film industry would have loved to have. And here it is at the luxury of our fingertips. So let's continue to learn and let's push forward. Let's move along and put all these videos together. There's a couple of steps coming up. So what we're going to look at next is we're going to take these video clips and create voiceovers for them. So that's going to be per our narrator's speech, right, or statements. And then we're going to take those voiceovers and essentially just place them in a video editing software. It could be CapCut, it could be Canva, so that the voiceovers match with each of the clips. And then we'll add a couple of neat features like transitions and maybe sound effects. We could have subtitles, that's optional, but that's about it, So we're going to take the next couple of steps to fulfilling the final production of our iPhone 17 commercial. And you're going to want to download all of these, so make sure you download them. There's a watermark here, but there's a way to remove it for free if you're going with the free version. In my case, I'm able to remove watermarks when I download because I have a subscription. But if you don't, I will also be showing you how to remove watermarks in this course in a good way where it pretty much doesn't show a watermark in the location. So that's about it for now. We're going to move on to the next video lesson and take it to the very next step.